All right, let's get her going. Start of the week, real Kyper and Bourne. The Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee sporting a Buffalo Bills cap today. You good with that, Sammy?
Yeah, I chose to put it on my head and came in here, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, I chose it after a big win, too.
Yeah,
coincidence? I think not.
No, 100%. Not coincidence, but
you have to wear something.
Circumstance. I like the Bills. I'm not like a diehard fan, but I like the Bills. It's a beautiful hat. I don't know what to tell you.
We
Go
got
Bills.
Technical directors Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandeo, and of course, assistant producer Ethan Jaja Gabor.
Yes.
We are live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590 The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. If you miss our show, catch it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And while you're watching on YouTube, give us a little thumbs up. All right, boys. The build-up, the last 9 games, was all to measure up against a very good Colorado Avalanche. Did Saturday night do it for you in terms of if they're ever going to be ready to match what they've got against the very best, then let's do it tonight.
Well, all you can do is beat who you play. The teams they've played for a while now haven't been awesome, but they have beat them, right? They beat the Canucks, the Flyers, the Panthers, the Islanders. Sorry, not the Panthers. Yeah, the Panthers, Islanders, Jets. They're Devils. These teams are not awesome, but they have done a job.
They're not even playoff teams.
They're not even, but they're the teams they've played, Kip, and they've beat them.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just saying that they're in a good spot here. If you're going to go into this stretch against all the good teams,
yes,
we're not going to discount all those previous games and say, hey, they put themselves in a position where they're back in the fight here.
No, we know that the league isn't strong enough. Rosters, with the exception of Colorado and Dallas and maybe 2 or 3 more teams, mid-HL right now. A lot of them can lose on any given night that they're not ready. And for the Leafs, the last 9 games, where they're, 7-0-2? Mm-hmm. They've showed that they're prepared. They're ready. They're not giving games away.
No, and you know what? That was the first time in a while where it's like, all right, they're playing a not very good team at home on a Saturday night. Can you just beat them? Can you just go beat the brakes off and make it easy? And it was 3-0 at the end of the first period. Yeah. And in that period, Vancouver had 3 power plays, maybe 4. 4 power plays, and the Leafs led 3-0.
2 too many.
Right.
3 goals on 6 shots.
Yeah.
That's just.
I mean, say what you will. It's
Demko.
It's a breakaway to Willie. It's a backdoor tap into Michelli. I don't remember what the other one was, but the other one is there's a Tavares breakaway in there. Like you say, it's Demko. I think that one might have been on.
That was on
the
Lincoln.
back on Lincoln.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Tough for me to look at Demko and go, those went through his logo or anything.
It was William Nylander at the end of the period where Lorentz set him up with the cross-ice pass and he turned it. Yeah. So.
All right, let's get Craig Berube's thoughts on Saturday night.
The penalty kill was really good. Had to be early, obviously, with the penalties in the first period. Our goalie, he was solid. And power play, got us an early goal. So special teams are good. Overall effort was, was a good win.
I think that for me has been the biggest key to the turnaround in general. It's just special teams. Mm-hmm. And I think what this sort of stretch has shown me, clearly they've played some bad teams. I'm not going to sit here and deny that they haven't played some bad teams, but that they may not have been just in this spot where they are in the standings if they even had a half decent power play. Like I can't remember how many times we came in here after a game and be like, they had a big third period power play in a close game. They couldn't convert. And it just killed them game after game. And now over this stretch, I think they've been the best in the league since
both.
December 23rd.
Since the game before Christmas.
Power play and penalty killing.
Yeah.
Right? Since after Christmas has been number 1 in both categories.
The PK's been number 1 since November.
PK is just 3rd overall in general. The PK's been pretty good all year. But we looked at this stretch of hockey before the next stretch and said that they've really got to make some hay here because it's a big schedule coming up. And when you look at it, they couldn't have done better. I mean, I guess they could have got 2 more points than they did, but 16 of a possible 18 heading into the biggest stretch of your season. You got to give them credit. None of us would be sitting here today thinking they had this in them, correct?
And it's crazy too, because all the other teams in the Atlantic around them have been winning concurrent, basically. But there is a bit of a tiering happening in the conference. I don't know if we're able to post the standings, but New Jersey, yeah, here you go. So look at the Devils in 7 there, the Rangers centers. There's a 3-point gap there where those guys are starting to trail the chase group, you know?
Look at the Sabres.
The Leafs have stayed in the fight.
Look at the Sabres. Good for them.
Buffalo.
It's about time.
But again, 3-game losing streak away from being in the pile of
dust. Yeah, it's not, hyperbole.
Yeah.
I always struggle with that one. To say that this is their season.
This 8-game stretch.
Even this 4-game road trip.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing in Colorado, which is, I put this in, this Avalanche have earned a point in all 21 home games this season, going 19-0-2. They look to become the 7th team to have a 22-game point streak at home to start a season. And the Avalanche have won 17 straight home games, one shy of matching their single-season franchise record. So, pretty good team at home.
They haven't lost in regulation.
At home. They are 19-0-2 at home.
They're in tough.
So
they're in tough.
You start with that. You go to Utah. You go to Vegas, which with all the stuff kind of surrounding that, and then you're in Winnipeg. No matter how bad they are, it's always a tough building to play for the Leafs. I feel like this 4-game, not even the games after it.
Yeah, start with 4. This week
is make or break.
Back-to-back Colorado, Utah.
Okay, tell me what's make and
Vegas.
Tell me what's break, because I think 5 out of 8 would be
Great.
Good.
You're
really good.
Still in the fight. Totally.
5 out of 8
5 points. So that's
the next 4 games.
Okay, I'm just doing the math. Okay, 2 wins, 2
Yeah,
losses.
2 on and 1.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yes, it is.
6 would be unheard of.
You can't get 2 points. You
Right?
know, like I feel like if you get 2 points out of these 4 games.
Can't do 3 either out of 8.
Really splitting hairs. Okay.
I don't think it's splitting hairs.
No.
3 out of 8 would be a setback, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you would lose ground, obviously, to the field at that point.
So before I guess we dive into the game tonight, was there anything from Saturday that you like, Kip, or anything that you could pull out of that game other than the Canucks or what the hell happened to them?
Yeah, for me, Carlo had a presence. Again, it's Vancouver, but he physically looked a lot more confident in me. He stepped up, ran a few guys, ticked some guys off.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Maybe whatever was ailing him with his ankle or the metal in his foot, whatever the case was, he got a reset here, and he's going to have to carry that look into Colorado tonight.
Yeah.
There's just, again, no Tanev, and you're just wondering now, when does that kind of catch up to them a little bit? But Carlo, to me, was a big plus Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, Carlo, OEL, Stetcher on your right side, it's not anything that it's not bad. It's not amazing. It's not bad.
Okay.
Which is nice.
We got Berube on Brandon Carlo. Clip 6.
Having Brandon Carlo back has been a big help. I mean, what he does back there in the PK and just defending and being the big body he is. I thought he had a real solid game tonight, and he's been solid since he's been back.
So me and Bunkus talked about this on Saturday night after the game, but this is one of the reasons that being forthcoming with injuries would be so much more helpful to the players, because I think it's pretty fair to say that Brandon Carlo at the start of this year, where we were coming in here every day being like, oh my God, what has happened to Brandon Carlo, was very injured. He was
significantly hampered.
Infected plate in his ankle that he had. It was just not a good situation. And if they just come out and be like, yeah, he's got to get surgery on his infected plate, we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that justifies the whole first month.
And then they hide it. And then it's like, oh, yeah, he looks like a guy that you would trade a pick for. What a concept.
So
why did they hide this?
Does that mean that we can throw away those theories of, does he like the game anymore? Anybody?
When there's an information vacuum, people fill it with guesses.
Whatever, yes. Question mark.
Yeah.
Okay? He looks disinterested. He looks this. He looks that. Yeah. No. He's injured, and this is what it is.
Brutally hampered by an ankle plate.
A very legitimate concern.
We get it.
That would be really good news if he's able to shore up that pair with Riley. Riley minus whatever he was pre-Carlo, minus 11, 12, 13. I don't know what the number was, but he's plus since Carlo's been back. So that's
okay. Plenty to get into, but maybe this is a good window with Carlo playing well, that the Leafs still might be looking to find another right-handed D. Saturday night, Elliot Friedman
Now we're talking.
talked. Dougie Hamilton available. Does it make any sense for you for the Leafs to go get Dougie Hamilton?
I mean, the ROM is beautiful. So
Nice museums here. So I've had the conversation with myself multiple times. The initial conversation was this kind of solves everyone's problems, where Dougie Hamilton is a high earning guy that isn't performing for the Devils, but he is a better offensive defenseman than Morgan Riley. He could run the power play. He's got this upside that Riley doesn't have. For the Devils, you get lower AAV. You get a guy who's a little bit more consistent with effort.
No. This is just getting Hamilton. This isn't giving up Morgan Riley to get him.
Well, how has that happened math-wise? Sorry, I just assumed it would have to be for another right D out.
You write Tanev off.
Oh. So take their problem on, basically.
Yep.
So here's the concern.
You're trying to win this year, right?
When you say write him off, you mean LTIR is done for the year
Correct.
no matter what. Like, even if the playoffs started and he was able to come back, you maybe try to patch together people in the press box.
If it's a long shot on Tanev coming back and you want to hold on to a spot, then you could try to massage it between now and the trade deadline if it's looking good. But in the meantime, you bring in Hamilton. He checks off a few boxes, including what JB just said. And the number one thing is he can get up and down the ice and alleviate a lot of that stuff off of Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not giving up Morgan. You're finding a way to say, listen, Jersey, you don't like him. You want to get rid of him. We'll take him off. You may have to eat a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you take him? So what's Tanev at 5+, 5.5?
Yeah. You look that up, Sam?
I think it's 4. I think it's more. I think it's less than that. Isn't it
4,
5,
4, 5, 4, 6? What do you think?
I don't think it is.
4, 5.
No, I think it's 4, 5.
4 or 5. Okay.
Times 6.
So what did Seth Jones? What did they take off Seth Jones? $2 million Chicago when Florida took him. Yeah, I'd be
take $2 million.
3 would be nice.
3 would be real nice.
3 would be nice.
I will say, in looking into Dougie a little bit today after having those conversations with myself, it ain't pretty. Like, he's turns the puck over at a rate that is astonishingly high. I think at times people accuse him of maybe not disinterest, but just feels like there's so much more there.
He had a window there. It was going pretty well.
Yeah. Well,
it's a huge risk.
High upside guy for sure.
It is a huge risk. I'm with you. I'm not saying it's the answer. I'm just throwing it out there.
It solves some of your problems in the short term, creates other problems.
He's got 2 years left
so
as well.
2 more after this?
Yes, 2 more after this
9.
at 9.
Golly.
And that number needs to come down significantly for the Leafs.
2 questions that I have.
Okay.
First one.
Yeah.
Do you think there's interest from the Leafs?
Okay. Let's keep in mind the current general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Brad Treliving, already traded him once.
Yeah.
Right.
What was that for? Hannafin? No.
I think he went to Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
For
Hannafin.
For Hannafin.
Right. Oh, let me double check that to make sure that's true. So.
Okay. Probably not then.
Yeah.
I'm
Probably not.
All right.
But
let's not spend too much time on it because I don't think it's good. That you sold me alone that there's no way Tree Living is suddenly going to be like,
I don't know.
solve our problems back there. The guy I didn't like when he was in his prime.
Traded from Calgary with Michael Furland and Adam Fox to Carolina for Elias Lindholm and Noah Hannafin.
What a monster trade.
That is
a
a
big
hockey
trade.
move.
Now, keep in mind, you didn't know that Adam Fox was Adam Fox at that time. You thought he was going to be good.
You knew he was going to be.
He just wouldn't sign that.
Just wouldn't. Yeah, there was just no chance
he
he was going to sign.
Norris after that.
And he wanted to go to New York.
Yeah.
Elias
Everybody knew
Lindholm
that.
was great for the Flames.
He was.
really good for the Flames.
Okay. All right.
But the second question that I did have, but maybe it's just like, would he has a 10 team? Would the Leafs be on that? Feels like the Leafs be on that.
My understanding is that he wants to be East Coast-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Elliot mentioned this maybe on Saturday night.
Sharks tried to trade for him.
Yeah, the Sharks. He poo-pooed the Sharks.
That's not east at all.
That's far west. In
Very
fact.
west.
Yeah. I'm told, yes, he would definitely entertain Toronto.
You know, it would be fun. I got to say that. It would be really fun because I've watched the Leafs like you guys have for a lot of years without someone who could just shoot one in the net from the back end.
He brings an element for sure. And I'd be lying to both you boys if I haven't thought about this a lot. Ever since I saw it on, was that Friday night that came out or Friday when he was healthy scratch, Saturday, whatever?
Yeah.
Ever since I've seen that, I've been thinking about it a lot. And
Jersey plays tonight?
They do.
He's going to play, I think.
He's going to play.
Yeah. I don't think now that
Petty messaging.
Now that this thing is blown up, I'm not sure Fitzgerald and Keefe can really keep him on the sidelines until a trade. You gotta, if someone's interested in him, you gotta play him. You gotta show me something. Who do they play? Jersey.
Wild.
Not only do they play, they play Quinn.
Yeah.
They get starched by Quinn. He gets 4 apples. That may be
With
it.
the other Hughes brothers.
Yeah. I think
-3 each.
I think there's a good chance you're going to see Hamilton back in the lineup
Interesting.
tonight.
Well,
Okay, that's interesting stuff.
keep an eye on that.
That's interesting.
Leafs lineup tonight. McMahon still on the fourth line. Nyes, Matthews, Domi, Michelli, Tavares, Nylander, Cowan, Waugh, and Robertson. They've been pretty good, Kip.
Yeah, they have. Yep.
You know, they seem to me like the premier line can handle bad teams. Let's see it against a good one. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like not a ton of size or muscle or anything like that. I guess Waugh's large, but he's not, crazy man or anything.
Yeah.
So interested to see how they fare over this next little stretch. Michelli and Willie seem to have real chemistry for me.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to ask you guys. Your thoughts on the choice that the coaching staff made to take John Tavares off the top power play unit to leave Michelli there. Like the choice basically, because it was Nyes and Tavares played together all year to start on the power play.
Yeah.
Did you guys?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Michelli adds a little bit more of a feel of outside of that 6 feet radius of the blue paint.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think he can get crowded there for John and Nyes.
Totally.
And I like the different feel of Michelli out there opening it up.
They could have had a number of primary assists to one another. Like Willie did hit him for the one on the back door, but they looked for each other a lot, I thought. And they seem to enjoy having him there. I wonder if you're Steve Sullivan, you're like, look, you can't have everyone be a shooter. Like we just need someone who can distribute out there. And Michelli looking a little bit more confident. Again, is he a guy that can do it against the not very good teams? I don't know, but he's looked pretty good.
I just think the coaching staff deserves some credit for making what is probably having a pretty hard conversation with John Tavares, because I can't imagine there have been many games in his entire life where he has been on the top power play unit. Isn't
these hard conversations, like, shouldn't they have happened already? Shouldn't they have been part of you're going from 11 to $3.5 million, and this is what you can kind of expect?
Sure.
So
I'm sure
shouldn't have a real big problem with it.
Yeah, but they played him on the top unit for 45 games already, Kyper, or however many games they've played. I still think it's a hard one
for like 70% of them.
I think that's the easy sell. It's like, look, and I know it's not been working.
Did you see him go out for the draw?
No.
Oh yeah, he went out for the draw.
And then they made him change.
Well, because he forgot, I guess, that he wasn't on the top unit, and he had to do the skate of shame back to the bench.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Simmer brought it up, and I was like, oh God, that's tough.
Understandable.
Isn't it? John is a competitor. He's gotten his points his whole career. Somehow, some way, he's going to end up with 60 or 70 points. From here on in, it just you got to get in the playoffs. You got to be behind the team. You got to be behind the team on whatever they think is best at times. You got to suck it up. If you wanted to be this guy that played 19 minutes a night and got power play time, there's UFA for you.
No, I do think that if you're Tavares now, the one thing you need to do for your career, even personally, is have team success. And I'm hopeful that he's willing to put everything in.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yep. I just think it was
Do you want to hear about Michelli on the power play from the coach?
Yeah, let's do it.
All
Let's
right,
play
let's
it.
have
Let's
clip
clip.
2 from Brew.
He's got a lot of composure with the puck and makes a lot of plays. He does a great job on entries on the power play and just handling the puck on the half wall and make good plays. So, yeah, it was a great goal. Great read by Willie to see him there, and he fed him. So he's been playing really well. Michelli, obviously confidence is a big thing, and he's got a lot of confidence right now with the puck.
Good to hear after the early, 9-game scratch run he had or whatever.
I like that word composure. Like, it just feels like he's making he's not rushing it. It just, when it was bad, it felt like they were rushing everything. And turnovers and rush.
Lots of turnovers.
Yeah.
And you gotta live with them, with these guys.
You do. To some extent.
To some extent.
There's definitely a limit to it, but yeah.
You're right. There's a limit to it. And it helps when you've got 3-0 leads when they do happen.
And when you're playing with other good players who can make plays with you, it helps a lot.
I know we're in the Leafs hour, and we're in Vancouver in the next hour, but what the hell happened to the Canucks, boys?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, man. That team, just double clutching every puck, zero confidence.
But all their good players don't play there anymore. Yeah. You just feel like it's like
we suck.
It's like a year ago. You're watching.
William had a tough night, I thought.
You can see it with him, but it's so raw.
Yeah.
He's so raw, and he's playing top pair minutes or whatever. It's just not going to be great.
Leafs 6-10-2 on the road. They're the best team in the NHL at home. Going on the road to Colorado. I wanted to bring this up just because, Sam, I was talking to you about it a little bit pregame. They play at altitude in Denver. They're going there, and I played there in college, and I'm sure you played in Denver at times. Like, it is genuinely different. Like, your lungs burn out way quicker. You're like, I have no gas.
Really?
Yeah. It's weird.
It's weird. It's like you're in an oxygen tank, and it's like you got nothing's coming in your lungs.
Yeah. Just like I've taken 10 hard strides and I'm cooked. I was telling Sam before the game, our trainer used to take the rookies' helmets and make them all a size smaller and just say at all altitude, your head swells, and just said, just get skating for a while. And once you get your blood flowing, your head will go back to normal size, whatever. So the rookies, the entire practice, were wearing these like helmets squeezed on, just red stripes across their heads.
Headaches all night. Yeah. Lost 10-0. Yeah. Good job there, trainer.
That's actually hilarious, though.
Shout out Petey Robertson.
Oh, that's funny. So do you think that their strategy with that in mind is like, let's build the fastest team that's ever lived?
Great point. Should be a part of it.
Like, that top line, when you watch them play, Natchez and McKinnon together should not be allowed.
No.
Both those guys.
Do you want to hear some thoughts on Nathan McKinnon?
Yeah,
let's do playing on with the altitude first from Craig Bruby.
Cool. Clip 10.
No, for sure. I mean, it's you come in here. It's obviously the altitudes, it affects you, and you got to keep your shift short as quick. You can't overextend your shift, so it's important. You're out there for a bit, and maybe you think you got an opportunity to go in forward check again or get in the offensive zone. That's the time to change. It boils down to being disciplined tonight in your line changes and your shift length.
And they're great at line changes lately.
Oh,
but it's one thing too.
It bugs you.
It drives him insane. I never know who you blame. You always flip flop on who you blame.
We disagree on it because I think it's
or you guys flip flop.
It's the coach.
Ultimately, it's the coach's fault. You're not controlling it. So I don't know. Do you need me to point a finger or responsibility? It's coaches. You're the bench boss. You got to have them.
But and I'm on the other side of it, where it's like, you tell a line which line is going, and if those guys mess it up, they're the dummies.
We do not agree.
This is the one thing that could come back and bite them here. Are they disciplined? Are they ready?
Yeah, it didn't look like it in terms of the changes.
Some of the changes that we've seen over the years with the lack of striding to the bench. Yeah. It's a pet peeve of mine, but if I see that, I go squirrely on as a coach. Yeah. I would. It's got to be an automatic. Good line changes, coming hard to the bench.
You know what
really grind
You,
my gears.
you know, it's not even going hard to the bench. It's just keep skating. Keep taking
Yes.
strides.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're like sprinting. You just can't stop skating.
Like,
Yeah.
Continue moving your
Saturday
legs.
night, like Craig Simpson showed it on a
They
replay.
played with 6.
Like,
Everyone's
what
open.
point? Like,
Yeah, Simmer said he's like, I thought there was a guy one too many guys
no,
open.
the worst I've ever seen was when I played for the Leafs and Mike Craig came to the bench and said, "We've got too many men on the ice," and then he kept skating by it.
That didn't happen.
No, I'm serious. It's like
Guys, too many out here.
we got to, yeah, but I'm not coming off. But like anyone else, tell anyone else to come off. We're like, Krager,
You're the closest to the bench.
jump off the ice.
That is so
Oh
funny.
yeah.
I think
my
you have to
God.
scratch the guy after that. You have to be like, look, you just need to sit one out for dumbness.
That's
One
unreal.
count
But-
of dumbness.
I thought it was maybe because they jumbled up the lines and everybody just like forgot whose line. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it
looked
felt
to
like
me like both wingers weren't
What-
sure who
and
they
they-
were taking.
and they both jumped.
They jumped for the same guy, which on the bench, you know, you just go every single shift. You're the left winger on the ice. You just say, just say his name. I got
You do that.
every single shift your whole career.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's you just for clarity's sake, it's not hard.
Do you think they do that?
Probably not.
But did you?
Yeah, I did. I mean, we were pretty much everywhere I play. Our coaches had us do that. Even if you're, you know, every shift you're up, I got whoever, you know,
Yeah.
even though it's the same guy every shift.
Yeah, it's
It's not, you're not
pretty
shit.
common.
Yeah. I mean, and if it's
I
not,
got
it
this
should
guy.
be.
I got this guy. I got this guy.
Just get the
That's it.
clarity. It's not hard.
Constantly.
Yeah, this has driven you insane the entire time we've done this show together. Kyper, is that you hate bad line changes.
Ugh.
Remember Oatsy? Oatsy
You
came
actually
on.
highlighted the Matthews change when we did a show.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
Remember Oatsy came on one time? He's like, bad line changes kill you. And he like did this whole thing about how
You know
good
what's
line
funny, though?
changes.
Coaches do care because, like, Sheldon and Babs had this thing about Babs wanted to get them diving in the bench. That was his big thing. 3/4 ice, get them diving in the bench. And Keefe had a whole thing about that, too. And I don't know.
I should probably mention Joseph Wall. Shout out on Saturday, going back in there tonight. Like him on
Stolar's
Saturday?
practicing too.
Yeah, we can play. We'll play the clip about the.
Oh, hold
about-
on before you
Where do
play
I go?
anything. Devils need a goalie. In the Hamilton trade, is that our is that what you were thinking the whole time?
Listen,
That's what he was thinking the whole time.
but the canvas is blank. Paint, my friend. Paint.
Bob Ross over here
All
already
you
had some
want.
ideas.
I heard some things.
Ooh. That's how Bob does it. Ooh.
But-
Happy trees.
I mean, I'd be a hell of a lot happier to get Dougie Hamilton back than Jacob Markstrom. That's for sure.
Let's listen to Craig Berube, clip 11 on Stolar's returning.
Well, I don't have a date like targeted, but he's on this trip so he can get time with us and be around us and get practice time with us. So that's good. And I think, he's getting, I think he's getting pretty close. Just needs the reps, needs the conditioning, that sort of thing,
Back before the Olympics.
Do I think he will be? There's a chance. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're looking at a 3-headed monster in net.
No, we're not. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Hildeby is waiver exempt. He will be the starting goalie for the Marlies.
No, buddy.
still a
No,
part
no,
of
no,
the
no.
story.
That's not what I'm talking about.
He's a 3-headed when
I'm
another one
talking
gets
about
hurt.
who leaves.
You have
Hildeby. Down the Gardner.
No, but his point is
Uh,
someone will get traded if they're
In the summer.
strong.
In the summer, yeah.
God, no assets
I'm
now,
not
kid.
sure. I'm not sure I want to go back to Wall and Stolar's right now. Okay?
There is definite concern.
This guy has come in and made believers out of everybody, Hildeby.
I get it. I totally get it.
I'm not sure, like,
What's the head coach of the
Stolar's
Marlies?
and Wall gives you a better chance to make the playoffs than Hildeby and somebody else.
Listen, you might not be wrong, but
That's
Stolar's.
the 3-headed monster I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Say that again.
We should break. What?
I'm saying you think it's just a foregone conclusion that Hildeby goes back to the Marlies?
I do, yeah.
I don't. That's what I'm saying.
But do you? Okay. So how long does Stolar's have to play before you trade him?
I don't know.
Because you're not trading Wall and you're not trading Hildeby.
I don't know.
So, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you just have to keep all three of them around long enough.
That's never worked in the history of the league.
Buddy, I love Hilda right now, and
Me
I would
too.
not send him down. The Hilda Beast.
Can we
'Cause
get him in studio for a session?
I don't think that would be the most electric.
I think it'd be hilarious.
But-
it'd be
All right, let's pick this conversation up after the break.
Okay, sure.
All right.
We got our boy John Michael Lyles.
John Michael Lyles out of Colorado. Help us tee up a 10 p.m. start for yours truly, Justin Bourne, Carolyn Cameron, and Elliot Friedman. Like,
are
seriously,
on the
what do we?
desk.
It's 8 p.m. local time there.
yeah.
Yeah, Monday night, 8 p.m. Perfect time.
Okay.
I'll be
That's
getting a
Amazon's fault.
I'm not saying it.
coffee after this.
All right. Back after these words. Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. All right, let's welcome him in. John Michael Lyles, former Maple Leaf, but also an Av too, and sprinkle in a Hurricane and a Bruin too, and you got yourself a color analyst on Altitude TV. John, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Just excited for this matchup tonight. Even with the late puck drop, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, what's up with that? 8:00 on a Monday. Can we talk? Can we talk to somebody, please?
You guys would know. I assumed you guys would know. I don't know.
Listen, we're not dumb. We would have said Colorado's maybe a little bit, maybe a little dumb, but we all said Colorado should be in the mix this season. But was anybody expecting this? No regulations loss, and we're in January at home for this hockey club. Like, where has this really come from?
You know, I mean, every game that we do, it seems like we're talking about something else, another way that the Avs have found a way to win, especially at home. And, last game, you don't get any points from McKinnon. You don't get any points from Makar and Nelson, Natchez. A lot of their top players didn't have a point, and they still win 4-0. And on the back of Trent Miner's first NHL shutout, first NHL win. The depth is what I would say is stepping up at opportune times. And when Nathan McKinnon is going, and when Marty Natchez is going, and Cale Makar are going, they're a very, very hard team to beat. And then you factor in, there's been, depth scoring. I believe right now, I want to say 4 of 6 defensemen are over 20 points. Sam Girard missed a little bit of time. Solovyov is relatively new in terms of that. But I think, Josh Manson's right on the edge. Brent Burns is over it. Sam Malinsky's over it. I think this team, what we're seeing is you're seeing a depth that maybe hasn't been there since they won the Cup in 2022. And we've had Eric Johnson on the broadcast a number of times this year. And that's something that he kind of looks at as well. And they've gotten great goaltending. And whether that's Mackenzie Blackwood, who missed time early in the year, Scott Wedgwood's been nothing short of fantastic. And then Trent Miner steps in against Columbus the other day and is going to get the start tonight against Toronto because Blackwood and Wedgwood are a little bit banged up. It sounds like Wedgwood could go, but Jared Bednar is making the decision. Miner played well in the last game, and then the Avs don't play again until Friday. So deciding to give, Wedgwood a few more days rest.
So the one thing that stands out to me is, like, after the Rantanen kerfuffle and they get Natchez back, a lot of people kind of viewed that as a step down. Like, it's not Rantanen, and you have this other guy who felt like you saved a very little bit of money on, and now you're not as good. He's pretty good. Tell us about his time and what you've learned about his impact in his time with the Avs.
Yeah. Listen, I think, there's a lot of ways to dissect, whatever word you want to use, the Rantanen trade and the return and whatnot. What I'll say is, at least right now, it's allowed the Avs to add some depth. And, part of that return is Marty Natchez, and he's been really, really good at times. And then there's times where I think, he's still, working through a few things. I think last year, him and McKinnon, because they are kind of similar players at times where they do want to bring the puck up the ice together, or they both want to bring the puck up the ice, they've had to learn how to read off of each other. Jared Bednar talked about this in his press conference this morning. I believe it was may have been one of the Toronto media asked, why is Nathan McKinnon scoring at a bit higher rate this year? And he said, well, I think part of it is learning how to read off of Marty Natchez. And Marty Natchez has the ability to, with his skating and his puck handling, to slow the game down. And whether it's McKinnon coming in late or McKinnon going to maybe the front of the net a little more than years past, because when you have Mikko Rantanen and you have, other players that he's played with, he's had to control the puck a little bit more on the outside. Whereas this year, when you have Marty Natchez, who's able to control the puck on the outside, Nathan McKinnon can then drive to the net. He's a strong player. He's a very strong skater. And I'm not saying that he's going to outmuscle everybody. everybody that he goes to the net and is battling against, but he has that ability to create opportunities maybe a little bit more at the net than he has in years past. I thought Jared Bednar did a great job of explaining that this morning, and the way that McKinnon and Natchez have read off of each other, especially this year versus last year, I think it's allowed people to kind of be a little bit more okay with losing Mikko Rantanen. It's a huge piece to lose. You never want to lose a piece like Mikko Rantanen. But I think when you look at the scope of everything, that whether it's, the depth that they've added with some of that flexibility, especially this year, as well as Marty Natchez and the way that he's played with Nathan McKinnon, I think it's a lot more palatable for people right now, especially given where the Avs are in the standings.
You're watching and listening to John Michael Lyles, former Toronto Maple Leaf, also Colorado Avalanche, as we get set on Sportsnet Ontario. Puck drop, 10 p.m. Significant trade last year was Brock Nelson, and they paid a hefty price, right? A top prospect in Richie, first, I think third as well, a conditional third. It felt like maybe Av fans are still kind of feeling the sting of no Rantanen there, and it didn't come out of the gate well for Nelson. But you look at him, especially the last 10 games here, and you mentioned, finding different ways to win outside the big boys, and he's right at the top of the list for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you're seeing with Brock Nelson, and he's a guy that I've known for quite a while, and chat with him, a lot in the locker room after morning skate, and just last year. Listen, you're coming from a New York Islanders system that, frankly, is night and day from what the Avs play, and he was there for a long, long time in the island. You come to Colorado, there's a lot of speed. There's, it's very, very different, and so I think the fit, maybe wasn't immediate. I think there were some flashes. There was, here and there. And I think he'd be the first one to admit it. He was getting more comfortable. Re-signing him was huge for the Avs, especially with what you gave up. Cal Ritchie, potential to be a really good player. Obviously the first rounder, came out of the gates this year, maybe not quite as well as he would have hoped, but his game has been there. And what I've loved about what Jared Bednar has done with Brock Nelson is, he's essentially, I don't want to say he's realizing how valuable he is as a 200-foot player, but what he's done is said, okay, I'm gonna bump up your faceoffs, and I'm gonna kind of bump up your minutes. And he started to penalty kill more. You'll see him go out and take faceoffs, especially on the left side with McKinnon, and whether it's Landeskog obviously out now, but with McKinnon, with Natchez, and kind of bump up to that top line because he's so proficient at the dot and such a big, strong body and so smart. He's really a very good two-way centerman. And I think with that increased responsibility and Jared Bednar having a lot more, more comfort, putting him in all sorts of different situations, you can see Nelson's game has thrived, has flourished recently, and he's been putting the puck in the back of the net. He's scoring a bunch of different ways, whether it's off the rush, going to the dirty areas, tips in front. He's got a few power play goals recently, and that second line center position has definitely been a point of emphasis. Call it a pain point since Nazem Kadri left after the 22 Stanley Cup. So having Brock Nelson playing the way that he is right now, that goes into that depth piece that we were talking about, or depth scoring. Brock Nelson has been, I would say, right at the forefront of that.
So in listening to you talk off the top of our conversation here, talking about all the D-men with a lot of points, I was kind of wondering, is that maybe something that other teams are missing, these offensive defensemen, in today's NHL, being able to move it from the back end? And so you mentioned one of the names stands out to me, Brent Burns, because when he went there at 40 years old, genuinely wondering to myself, is he still good? I know he's famous. Is he still good? He's still good, isn't he?
Didn't you retire at 35? And this guy's playing 20 minutes a night at 40. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I asked him. We had him on our post-game show. I believe we were rookies the same year, and I retired. 17 was my last year with Boston. And I was like, how are you doing this?
So wow.
And it's funny because the way that he talks about it and the way that he approaches it, like he played with Joe Thornton for a long time, and obviously Toronto fans very familiar with Joe and San Jose fans as well. But he just said, like the I call it like the boyish love for the game, right? Like loves going to the rink every day. And is he going to outrace you in a foot race for a puck? Maybe not, but he's so smart. It's kind of amazing. Josh Manson's never played the left side in his entire career, and they moved him to the left side with Brent Burns, and it's actually been a really good fit. Josh Manson having a very good year offensively, and Brent Burns, like they've got a very good chemistry together. But Brent Burns, the way that he plays the game, the way that he approaches the game, he knows that it doesn't last forever. And he jokes, like Joe Thornton, told him like, hey, Burnsy, they pay you to play all 82, buddy. They pay you to play all 82. And he just loves coming to the rink every day. And you can see it in the way that he plays. He's just always got a smile on his face. I think what he does coming out of his zone is actually a little bit underrated. The effectiveness that the way that he moves the puck, and then his shot. He never overhandles the puck on the offensive blue line. It is on and off his tape so quickly, and I think that the Avs forwards have loved that because they know when it's going out to him, it's going to the net. And it's getting through. And that's been something that I've been, impressed with among many other things when it comes, to Brent Burns and his game with the Avs.
John, just one quick one before I let you go. And I don't want to tie you up too much here on this answer, but like every team's going into the Olympics and then eventually the trade deadline, scratching their heads. What can we do to make this thing better? Like, what would you do with this team? Would you just leave it alone? Is there a chance that you over tweak it or overthink it here? Just right. They've earned the right to be left alone.
100%. But I think if you went into that room and asked every player and every, person in management, if there's an opportunity to tweak something to make it even slightly better, we all know how hard the playoffs are. And, whether it's depth, whether it's, I don't know. There's not one thing I can sit here and say, like, I would absolutely add that. But now I think you're seeing, teams face adversity throughout the year, whether it's beginning, whether it's end, whether it's the middle. Avs haven't had a ton of injuries, but now you're starting to see a couple of things creep in, and whether that's, Blackwood and Wedgwood a little bit dinged up. Devon Taves is out for a little bit of time. Sounds like he's going to be back, maybe in the next week, 10 days, 2 weeks. Landeskog going down. That's a big one because I think he's been such a key addition in the room, and his game has really started to round. I don't want to call it back into form from where he was in 2022, but it's night and day from where he was at the beginning of the year. So I think, if there's an opportunity to add, whether it's, maybe a forward depth piece, maybe top 9, I definitely could see maybe a piece on the back end for some depth as well, because we all know, I go back to 2022, Sam Girard went down with a broken sternum. Jack Johnson stepped into the lineup and the Avs, they were as good as we've seen anybody be in, the last 5-6 years in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And part of that is having those guys that are ready and able to step into the lineup. So it wouldn't shock me if they add a couple pieces. I think you're dead on that they've earned the right to, if management says, hey, we aren't going to make too many changes. I don't think any of that room would complain, but I think you're always looking to add, as cliche as it sounds, and make your team better.
Great stuff as always, man. Enjoy the game tonight. Thanks for
guys.
time.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
John Michael Lyles.
Breaking.
Two things. Breaking news. This is the bigger one first. Blue Jackets part way with head coach Dean Evison and assistant coach Steve McCarthy. Name Rick Bowness their head coach.
I saw that Dean Evison, he hadn't even been there 2 years, and in 127 games with them was like 59 and 52 and change. Pretty positive impact on the Blue Jackets, but they were impatient.
Surprised by that one?
No.
Okay.
No, they're in last place. They've made the playoffs how many times in their franchise history?
Not many.
Not many.
A few.
Like, enough already. Yeah. No, next man up. Players get traded, they get waived, they get sent down, they get kicked to the curb. This is just the business side of it. That's all.
Yeah, it's just, for me, Kip, last year for them was such an emotional year, the Johnny Gaudreau year, and they had such a positive experience and surprising push to the playoffs. They way overachieved last year. I think what people thought their true talent level was. This year, they probably performed closer to their roster's true talent level. Man, these guys have short leashes, eh? Like, I get there's frustration and it's hard to make trades, but boy, that seems like a very short leash.
Their salaries aren't on the salary cap, so don't have to worry about it. It's just, it's the easiest move that they can make.
Bowness.
Right?
Bowness is 70.
His first coaching job was the old Jets in 88, 89. The year I was born.
Clearly, there's not a Carberry waiting anywhere when you have to go back to Rick.
Well, I don't think that's the point they're making at all, and I think you know that. Like, they don't want that. They want a proven guy. They want a guy who's done this. They're not looking to help anyone come along. They want a guy who's been there.
They wouldn't have gone back to Tortorella. They wouldn't have Laviolette. I mean, hey, listen, Rick.
Out there, yeah.
If Rick's got the energy, if he's got the juice still, then yeah.
And how much more expensive would the other names have been you just mentioned? And is that something that scares them?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He'll be cheaper.
Yes. Wow.
And the other thing I wanted to mention, in Dougie Hamilton's last full season, 22-23, he scored 22 goals and had 52 assists for 74 points. So plus 23 that year.
God bless you.
Thank you. Still hasn't happened for him. Yeah, I mean, the guy can do one thing very well.
He fires that maybe in the
fire
net.
the pill.
Yeah.
At 6'6", 230 or whatever.
Thought that was interesting stuff from Lyles about how much Natchez has opened up the middle of the ice for McKinnon. That he can just really
flies though.
Yeah.
They're just so fast.
Can I read you their top line stats this year?
Yes.
15 goals for Lehkonen, 36 goals for Nathan McKinnon, 20 goals for Marty Natchez. Lehkonen has 110 shots. McKinnon has 204 shots, and Natchez has 100 shots.
Yeah, it's
that
just a
Arturi
pinball machine.
Good luck.
Lehkonen from Montreal was a steal.
What did they trade him for?
I don't know. I don't even know if it was a first rounder.
I don't think it was, Kim.
Yeah, he became like the
Like,
premier shutdown.
honest, the guy plays the game.
My Selke vote today.
He plays so hard.
Yeah. Without doing a deep dive, he's like at the top of my mind.
He
for Selke
he
vote.
was traded from the Montreal Canadiens to the Colorado Avalanche for Justin Barron and a second-round pick.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
God, could he look good right now in that uniform?
Yeah.
Montreal.
Well, they're looking for guys like him, aren't they?
Yeah, and
Everybody is.
He's a good playoff player, too. Point per game in the playoffs since he's been there.
Okay, do the Leafs have a chance to keep this close tonight?
The NHL, yes. Who are they without? They're without Landeskog.
I love that reason. It's hockey. Anything.
Well, I mean, truly, it's
they got the advantage in that, do they not? Joseph Wall versus this Miner?
Trent Miner.
Trent Miner.
I got the Leafs have a
Miner
44% chance to win. That 44% is my number.
Boy, if they win tonight,
just
some weird back
keep
talk.
it close for our telecast tonight.
Keep it close.
Toronto Maple Leafs, Colorado Avalanche, 10 p.m. Eastern on Sportsnet Ontario. Justin and I will get you all set, 9:30 Eastern. Our thanks to John Michael Lyles. 9 games on tap. Leafs in Colorado, 1-9. All right, let's keep her going here. David Amber, studio host, Hockey Night in Canada, NHL on Sportsnet, in studio, coming up next. It's the National Hour on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. We are live on Sportsnet. Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. If you missed our show, you got it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube, where we love getting thumbs up. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in David Amber, studio host of Hockey Night in Canada, NHL on Sportsnet. He's not in studio like I thought.
Yeah. I mean, you maybe got tricked by it says studio there on there.
Yeah, I think I got tricked.
Sometimes we have him in studio, sometimes we don't. So I think he just got tricked. It's all good.
For those of you that just watch the show just for the sole purpose of seeing if Sammy will change the jersey from a Leaf Hour edition to another team, he did, with the Vancouver Canucks, where, like, if there's one show probably Canuck fans aren't feeling too great about seeing their jersey, it might have been off a Saturday night.
Well, two things. Jaja Gabor, our lovely intern, hopefully future guy who's here, has changed Sammy's life.
Oh my God!
Like letting him know to change the jersey every show.
To be fair,
That's cheating.
I'd love to give Jaja full credit, but there's 4 texts on the text line. My dad texts me, Jaja texts me. Like, listen,
They
everybody
don't want to see you publicly scolded
no one
anymore.
wants it anymore. Like, it's over.
They all felt the tension.
It's over. If it's forgotten again, it's like there's just no excuse. I have
you
to
gotta
quit.
resign.
Jaja's gonna be sitting here.
When you actually do it on live television, is that like a walk of shame?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that
terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
But we got a brand new Canucks jersey.
So we're like, becoming a real outfit here. Got a Canucks sweater just in time to talk about them.
5 years.
Just
$1 billion worth of rights.
Okay, so
sweater.
if I was to say that that's like the worst team in the league I've seen this year, would I be up to 3 teams or 4 teams now?
That you've called the worst team in the league? You called the Devils
Jersey,
very recently the worst team in
Jets,
the league. Jets, you called the
Vancouver.
worst team in the league.
That'd be 3 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like borderline American Hockey League Saturday night.
Jeez Louise, Kip.
Oh, no. I'm telling
Come
you,
on.
that was awful. Awful.
Jeez.
No good. No
Listen,
good.
I was texting with some people in Vancouver, people who follow the team closely. Everyone has just thrown up their hands and been like, this is
But it's
awful.
What happened to their team?
It's time for them to be this.
Yes, it is.
They've been trying to be.
They're doing the right thing.
They've been trying to be half pregnant for 4 years. And
This isn't.
Go get Kevin McKenna.
Go suck for a year.
This is now gone from whatever they think as a hybrid retool
Yeah,
or
I know. Beat it
no.
with your cutesy-
This is
Rebuild.
blown up. Yes. No, we're
How do
talking.
we start talking Canucks?
We're talking Coyote Roadrunner stuff. Okay.
Acme?
See, Acme TNT.
But it's true. It's true. What's the point of fighting to be slightly better than you currently are? They have 37 points. There's 3 guys at the top of the draft. It's Stenberg, it's McKenna, it's that Verhoff. Any of them would be amazing for the Canucks and where they're at. Just do it.
That Stenberg looks very good. Watching the World Juniors,
Yes.
he looked unbelievable.
Oh.
Yes, he's probably the dude.
Columbus.
Before we do Columbus, Demko, Adam Foote was asked today, could he be shut down for the season?
Oh,
and he said that could happen.
Oh,
I don't blame him if he's been trying to keep this thing together at 60 or 70%, and it's not happening. And you're watching where they are right now.
Yeah.
Season over.
Agreed.
there's no reason to keep running him out there.
No.
I mean, he also wasn't great himself on Saturday, but
He's
anyways.
in a tough spot. Okay.
Columbus.
Yes.
Have a new head coach.
Dean Evison has been relieved of his duties as well as an assistant coach there.
In for the fired head coach, Dean Evison, Rick Bowness. Let's bring in our next guest, David Amber, studio host, Hockey Night in Canada and NHL's on Sportsnet, to dissect this scenario in Columbus where, as Don Waddell said in his statement, Dave, this is a very, very, so far, disappointing season that needed something.
Yeah, some breaking news. I was a bit surprised, though. I guess I was surprised that they made the move, but I'm also equally surprised Rick Bowness, who I thought was retired, right? He left Winnipeg. How old's Rick now? And he's obviously still got that fire in his belly. And he obviously did such a good job with the Jets, but I'm surprised to hear he's going to be behind the bench for Columbus. But maybe they're looking for that little coaching bump that we keep seeing. Because they're still mathematically right there, dead last in the East are the Blue Jackets, but they're, 6-7 points out of a playoff spot. So every team still seemingly is alive. But that was a bit of a surprise to me. If you'd asked me who the first coach to go this year was, even though the fact they're last in the East, I wouldn't have said Columbus.
No, it's particularly strange. They're just so desperate to be competitive, I guess. But given last year and all the emotional baggage and stuff that comes with it, I think it's fair to ask, like, when you look at that roster, do you think that that's a better team than, I understand they're last, but they're 45 points in 45 games? That seems about like what they are to me roster-wise, DA.
Yeah, I mean, you look around the league and there's certain teams that have completely underperformed based on the anticipation, the expectations. I mean, they're right there with Ottawa. They have the same amount of points as Ottawa. Everyone, myself included, picked Ottawa as not a definitive, but a very strong candidate to be a playoff team, and they still might be. But they've underperformed, and there's a whole, series 4 or 5 other teams you could pick out before you would say Columbus has underperformed. Yeah, the roster is growing, and maybe they just feel they needed a different voice. I don't know. I only know what you hear from players, right? Dean Evison, maybe grinds a little harder than some of the young guys wanted to be grinded, or in a certain way that wasn't motivating them. And maybe that was something that Don Waddell recognized and thought a different voice and a different sort of tenor of that voice and maybe different messaging would go a bit further. It could be as simple as that. But if you just look at the roster and break it down, you don't sort of say, well, Columbus has massively underperformed this year.
Yeah.
You're watching and listening to David Amber, studio host of Hockey Night in Canada and the NHL on Sportsnet. You mentioned the Ottawa Senators, and Elliot touched a bit about it on the weekend here. But David, you've been around a long time as a broadcaster. I'm not sure this is the right term, but have you ever seen anything so messy like this, based on an internet tweet? I don't know. Is that what they call it still?
Yeah, an internet tweet, definitely what they call it.
I call social media, anti-social media for a reason. And it's just, there's so much negativity put out there. There's so much false narratives put out there. I have no idea what level of validity, if any, is there to this. And we can't speak to that. There was that whole debate. Did Ottawa give the whole rumor oxygen by addressing it in the public way they did? Should they have just let it kind of go away? And I'm sure in their heads they're going, yeah, well, that's what we thought last year when we heard or the year before when we heard all those crazy rumors with Corey Perry and all that. Oh, it'll just go away. Well, it didn't go away. It just kept growing and growing and growing. So they probably wanted to sort of stop it, in its tracks as best possible. Yeah, it is messy. But you know what cures messiness is winning, Nick, like, you talk about teammates who struggle with each other, their personalities off the ice or blah, 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 then they win and they're best buddies. And I think this is one of those cases, a few wins in a row. They've lost 4 in a row. If Ottawa could find a way to get some traction, move in the right direction, a lot of this will be forgotten, I would think. We'll just have to wait to see how it all plays out. But yeah, it's messy and it's unfortunate when things like this become sort of the talking point of the team as opposed to what they're doing on the ice or what they're trying to accomplish. So it's more just a sign of our times, right? It's really just, we all have kids, and your kids are caught up in social media and it just gets out of hand. And we've seen that, all of us have seen that. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully, again, I think some wins will go a long way into just putting that into the background.
I guess the question is, though, and I'll let JB you answer this maybe after David. Are they correlated? Do they have to do with each other, whether or not whatever's going on off is affecting the team, or can they separate it here? That's the question, right?
100%. I mean, if there is some validity and there's some dissension within the dressing room, and if there's some significant personality problems, then that's a completely different narrative. We just don't know definitively what the truth is. But I would say, just like I put it the other way, when you're winning, a lot of those problems go away. When you're not winning, a lot of those problems become much more heightened. So even if it was a small problem, all this losing and the consternation surrounding the team throughout the year, I mean, it's been a tough year for the Ottawa Senators because they look like that team that was making the moves in the right direction. And they have this great young nucleus. They have a very a coach who has a pretty good resume in Travis Green and is known to really help motivate the players in a good way. And to date, they've underperformed. So maybe it is all hand in hand. And JB, I'd love to get your take on it, but there's a lot more questions than answers. I'll put it that way.
Well, I was going to say there's two conflicting parts of this for me. And one is that everyone on the Senators, to a man, came out and had Linus Ullmark's back, right? This guy, great guy. This guy, we're behind him all the way, yada, yada. But then there's the element where he took a personal leave, but then he still came to the game and he still, it almost felt like he's not welcome down there or something. Like, we don't know the story, but it feels like there's some tension between what's really happening and public story and whatever. So I don't know. It's impossible to guess how it's impacting the team, but you do get the sense, whatever it is, a thing happened within this group that is they're working through. And I think that can be a challenge, but it happens at any organization. You work with 20-some people or whatever. Chaos happens sometimes and you work your way through.
And listen, at the national level, I mean, there's Sportsnet, there's TSN, but underneath all of that, I don't know whether or not people can leave it alone or they're like, now we got to dig. Now we got to find out. Now we're going to TMZ this thing right up. That's the danger of continually bringing it to the surface or, with that statement. I mean, that's I think that's where our world is at right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that was the criticism or the questioning that Steve Staios and the Senators management received is like, when you address it, even if you're denying it, it puts it into the the lexicon. It becomes like, okay, well, it's fair game to talk about this now. And here we are, on a national show, speculating about something none of us, at least the three of us, don't really have any insights to. It's unfortunate because there's so many good hockey storylines to go around right now. And I'd like to think the big storyline surrounding the Senators come April will be, hey, they had a great second half resurgence and they made the playoffs and they're going to be a very hard out. And you like to think a lot of these things will get straightened out. But as Justin just pointed out, we don't know that to be the case. And you're both implying that it runs potentially much deeper than any of us know. And maybe that is the case. I really don't know. And I hate to speculate on stuff because I just don't feel it's my place to. But I imagine time will tell when this thing will get all sorted out.
Just my last thought on all of this. If someone's out there spreading lies and bad rumors about me or my family, the first thing that's coming out is a call to the lawyer, and I want to know what my options are. And if that's the case for Ullmark or Tkachuk or any number of those players or the Ottawa Senators, call a lawyer. Call Saul.
Kip, I said I would stop or cease and desist, man. Lay off. I won't say anything.
Don't look at me like that.
Yeah, man.
Counter,
I'm not
baby.
saying anything else.
Counter.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a litigious time, right? I mean, people don't want to be slandered or libeled and put in a spot where they're, being defamed and their reputation is at risk, and you have legal course of action you can take. And I'm sure that's something that maybe is being considered. I don't know. And I hate to kind of go from A to B to C to D because we just don't know, but you're right. That would be my instincts too. If someone put me in a situation that was completely unfounded and was hurting my reputation, I would certainly look at all different courses of action.
I'll just say, they're a public hockey team that people pay to follow and are interested in. And it has hockey implications. This guy won a Vezina trophy for them. They're dead last in save percentage this year. If they're getting moderately okay goaltending, they're in the playoffs. So people want to know, hey, wait, is our whole season turf because of this? And so to me, that justifies this as a conversation. They put a statement out. So just wanted my 2 cents on why we're talking about it.
Okay.
Listen, it makes all the sense in the world. And And Brady Tkachuk went as far as to say, critique us for what's going on the ice. Don't, sit there and try and investigate our personal lives, which I think he's completely right. But if there is some link between the two and the performance on the ice, then that might come to light as well. But,
it's curiosity.
I just think I think at the end of the day, guys, it's just unfortunate. Again, I'm pretty optimistic person. There's so many good storylines to dig into, and that this has become sort of a bit of a talking point surrounding the Senators, and it's a tough situation.
Keep in mind on our show particularly, Dave, if we can't go from A to B to C to D, we're done. We're done. We're done. It's over. Cancel.
Well, hold on.
Cancel our show.
It's a fun thing to take optimism and really challenge it. So, DA, our Canadian teams, brother, this has been your thing, right? I mean, we just talked about the Canucks. We're talking about Ottawa. Calgary's struggling. Winnipeg's struggling. Are there bright futures coming here? Did you see this sort of a fall off happening this season?
Those are a bunch of different teams, right? The Jets is unforeseeable. So I dug this up. The last time a team went from first in the NHL standings in the regular season to the next year, dead last, was 1942-43.
That was
so it has not happened in.
That was a 3-team league, wasn't it?
Exactly. It was the Rangers. It was your old team, Kyper, but long before you were there. And again, it was 6 teams at the time.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to fall from first to sixth. To fall from first to 32nd, and the Jets aren't in 32nd, and I don't think they're going to finish in 32nd. But the fact they were even sitting there halfway through the season was shocking. So they've won 2 in a row. Maybe they got their mojo right. I was on your show before. We talked about the margins, right? During that 11-game losing streak, 9 of those losses were by 1 goal. They were blowing leads.
Yeah.
They had no mojo. They were playing not to lose as opposed to win. I don't know what happened. But now they're getting a bit more complimentary scoring. They seem to have righted the wrongs, and they're still there. They have a long way to go. They're going to have to pull a 2019 St. Louis Blues, right, and go from worst to the playoffs, and then see what that can get them. But they still have a fighting shot. And if they're the Winnipeg Jets, the way that we consider them to be the Jets, they have a ton of work to do. I think they have to go 26-12 or something to get to sort of 90 points, 91 points. It's a massive road they have in front of them, but it's not inconceivable. They're good enough to do that. When you look at a team like Calgary, it's different. People weren't sure what to expect from Calgary. Last year, the 96 points, almost making it to the playoffs. Some people felt that was a bit of a mirage. Great goaltending from Dustin Wolf, and they had sort of everything fall into place. They became sort of that gritty team. And this year, maybe they've come down to earth a little bit with their roster being as it is. But what's interesting to me, guys, is we're less than 2 months from the trade deadline. What's going to happen with Rasmus Anderson? What's going to happen potentially with a Blake Coleman or a Nazem Kadri? They have some chips to play. And what are they going to do with those chips? And that, to me, is the really big storyline. Craig Conroy and that ownership group have a lot of decisions ahead of them.
Yeah, I think right now in Calgary, everything's pointing in the direction that they're willing to sit and wait until they get the offer that they're comfortable with. Of course, the pressure point is a deadline that can come and go, and you can end up holding on to a few of your pieces as well. So interesting times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you want to go?
I want to ask about the Toronto Maple Leafs. We got a red-hot team here. On the positive side, let's start painting with a more positive brush. Obviously, 7-0-2 in their last 9. They've got on a little bit of a run. Do you believe that this team is this more like what they actually are? Or do we have a potential playoff team, or is this a mirage?
No, I definitely wouldn't say it's a mirage. And I think, again, if we go back to our preseason expectations, I had the Leafs as a playoff team. I understood they lost Marner and everything else. Think about it. They've had this rotating, 4 goalies they've used this year. It's been ups and downs, to say the least, and they've somehow managed to survive that. I think it's been great that some of these guys, when you had Nylander out and you had Matthews not performing, and then Matthews was out for a bit, you've had McCabe and Tanev out for long stretches of time. You've had other guys who've had to be supporting there, who've had to sort of elevate their game. And if there is a silver lining to when the Leafs went on that massive lull, is that some of these other guys have finally found some footing. And Nick Robertson and Easton Cowan and Michelli, they've now maybe found a little more comfort. Max Domi is playing much better hockey than he was a month ago. So maybe now the guys are finding themselves a little bit. They have their confidence back. And the goaltending situation, we haven't talked about Anthony Stolarz in a while, right? And that hasn't been the big talking point between Hildeby and Wall. It's been okay. So this is a much better version of the Maple Leafs, and maybe it's the version that's going to help, get them back into a playoff spot and have them with some momentum heading towards towards the spring.
David, in our Leaf Hour edition, we talked about Dougie Hamilton, but I'm going to broaden that. And you tell me now that the news is out. We heard from Elliot Friedman on Saturday night on Hockey Night in Canada talk about Dougie Hamilton. What Canadian team could use Dougie Hamilton if Jersey decides to move him?
Oh man, I mean that's a tough question, Kipper. Only because it's not as simple as Dougie Hamilton. Is it 9?
9 this year plus 2 more.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's the beginning. Listen, all 7 Canadian teams could use a Dougie Hamilton. I still think he's a very serviceable right-handed shot defenseman. Right? I mean,
yeah. Providing you can make the money work, get New Jersey to eat some of it, it wouldn't be that expensive if they want to just unload them. So,
what about Edmonton? What about Edmonton? What about the Oilers?
He's like riskier Bouchard. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't look at him in the same vein. He doesn't have that type of, they don't need him to man the power play. The Oilers' power play right now is at a historic level. If they finish at the rate they're at now on their power play, it'll be the greatest power play ever. So wow. I don't think they necessarily need Dougie Hamilton there to quarterback their power play. However, I still think he brings a lot to the table. It's really the money that's the biggest sort of.
Yeah, no question. Yep.
That's the problem. I wouldn't say the Montreal Canadiens are desperate for that. I think Montreal's bigger concerns are up the middle. And you guys have talked about that on your show repeatedly, whether it's Nazem Kadri or someone else coming in there.
Yeah.
But having said that, if you look at Montreal with Doc, Newhook, Laine, Goulie's just coming back. Like they've had a series of serious injuries to serious players. And maybe if you're their management group, you're Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon, you're saying, well, we're going to add guys even without having to get rid of prospects and draft picks, et cetera. So,
Dobson took care of that for them.
Say that again?
Dobson. Yeah. With Dobson there, Hamilton makes no sense.
You want it to be the
lead. Yeah. They don't need Hamilton. They need some help up front potentially, but they also might just be waiting for their guys to get healthy again. So we'll see.
Well, this is going to be crazy, this stretch of hockey here. I know the Leafs play 11 times in the next 20 days. I can't imagine a more condensed NHL schedule than we've got right now. We've got 9 games on a Monday night. Yeah, I don't know if you're noticing it affect the play at all, but there's some nights where teams just seem to be rolling over. Like the Rangers lose 10-2 the other night. Canucks 5-0. We had a 9-0 the other night. Like, it's just some weird hockey right now.
It's weird. And talking to the players, there's no practice anymore.
Hold on. Who you got?
Oh, the dog? Yeah, she's making a lot of noise. Bella.
Hi, Bella.
Here.
Yes.
Yeah, she probably, I'm holding her because I'm worried she's going to pee on the floor. So anyhow, the games have been weird, but you talk to the players, there's no practices. There's no time to sort of address issues. And you talk about special teams. If your special teams are rolling, it's great. But quite frankly, this is the time of year when you want to see some adjustments. If you're the Calgary Flames and you have the worst power play in the league, you want to see some adjustments, right? Yeah. And now would be the time to be able to try to make those adjustments. And there's just not a lot of practice times. It's game, rest, fly out, game, rest, fly out, rinse and repeat. And some days, some teams the tank is empty. And if you meet up on the wrong night, like we saw that with Boston and the Rangers on Saturday, I was watching that game. I couldn't believe it. And it could have been more than 10 goals, right? And we saw that with the Islanders and Devils a week ago, 9-0, like you said. It makes for very strange nights. It makes for hard, if you're trying to bet on these games too, it makes it very unpredictable what's going to happen. So it's an interesting time. I look forward to a season, and I think it's next year, where they're going to start a week earlier in September. The games will be spread out. It's a non-Olympic year. It's a non-World Cup year, and it'll feel more like the traditional NHL calendar. And quite frankly, I look forward to that because this year with the Olympics, last year with Four Nations, et cetera, we've had these compressed schedules, and sometimes the hockey leaves a little to be desired simply because of the fatigue mentally and physically that the players are feeling, which is understandable.
So our Sammy watches pictures from the Olympic rink being built like people watch the fireplace at Christmas, the fireplace channel. You're not watching this on a daily basis too, are you?
I assume they're going to get it done, but anyone who's had a house reno knows how these things go. This is the big house. I mean, Kipper, you've built some palatial estates in your time, and they tell you a year and X amount, you can guarantee it's going to be plus, both on the financial side and on the time-wise side. We don't care about the financial side. That's the IOC's problem, but we'd like to have that rink ready by the time the Olympics start. I'm of the mind it's going to be what it is. Every team will be at the exact same disadvantage. From what I understand, we're making a lot about the ice, and it's not going to be the ice that's the biggest problem. I had someone tell me that it's going to be the amenities for the players that people are going to, these are guys who are used to the Four Seasons, private flights, all the amenities in the world, all the great practice facilities in the world. And they might get to Milan and it's going to be a bit of an eye opener when, they're in these cramped quarters, these little dressing rooms, etc. That might be the bigger sort of, oh my God, for the NHL players that end up in Milan, not so much the ice surface itself.
Is Connor Bedard going to be there? He's your boy.
You're asking the wrong guy. I mean, I think he should have been named there. I think Matthew Schaefer should have been named as well. I would have loved to have seen them on Team Canada, and I think they would have done incredibly well. Will he be there? I mean, what you heard Doug Armstrong say on December 31st is it's all based on who is out. If there are injury substitutions, if Tom Wilson gets injured, Sam Bennett's in there. Yeah. If someone else I just don't want to put out names because then it feels like you're
jinxing him? Did I just put bad juju on Celebrini?
100%.
I hope not. And I don't even know if it'd be Celebrini would get Bedard there. But I mean, yeah, if a center goes down and they feel they have a like-minded center who could fill that role and be that person, then they're going to do that. Where on the pecking order he falls, what did they say? That there's like 12 guys on this reserve list, right? Like it's quite a few guys. There's Scheifele and Bennett, and I'm forgetting a bunch. Obviously, Bedard's one of them. There's a lot of guys, Wyatt Johnston. So I'm not sure he's first man up or second man up. Would I like to see him there? And do I think he deserved it? Yeah. When he got injured, he was fourth in the league in points. He's improved immeasurably in every, facet of his game. He missed 12 games, guys, and he's still leading Chicago in points by double digits. What does that say? Yeah. He really carried that team much in the same vein that Celebrini has carried the Sharks. And I would have had no problem at all with Connor Bedard being on the Olympic team.
Okay. Last one for me here. And, I want to take you back to 6 years ago, maybe even longer. I think I was beside you when you claimed that Ovi was going to challenge Wayne Gretzky's goal scoring record. How long ago?
Oh, we lost him. No volume?
Oh, did we lose him?
Well, he's there, but he's on mute. Maybe you on mute. Did Bella hit mute?
The dog hit the mute button.
No.
We got you now. We got you.
Yeah, we got you now.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so what was it? What was it? 6 years ago?
2016.
Oh, okay, almost. Yeah, 10. So 10 years ago, I was there, and I poo-pooed it like Bella's doing right now in your kitchen, right? And I look bad.
Close.
I admit that. Now we're seeing Connor McDavid on an 18-game point streak. Maybe we've never seen him better. He certainly had a Gretzky pace, right, lately. So what year will he break his total point record? That's what I want to know from you.
Wait, break Gretzky's point record?
Yeah. What year? What year?
No,
you did it once. You can do it again for our show.
I've said for a couple of years, and this isn't some crazy take or anything or some, impressive take, but I've said for a couple of years, I fully expect Connor McDavid, when he retires, to have the second most points of any NHLer. The way Crosby's going, Crosby might be the next guy to 2,000 points, but I fully believe Connor McDavid will join Gretzky as the only 2,000-point players, and maybe Crosby if Crosby keeps playing at the level he's playing at now. But when Connor McDavid retires, he'll be the second highest scoring player in NHL history. What is Gretzky at? Sammy would know. Isn't it 2,800 and something?
2,900, I thought, but
it's in the 2,800 range.
Yeah,
2,800.
It's asking a lot. I mean, McDavid's amazing. I'm glad that you're even bringing that up, though, Kyper, because he deserves, just like when we were watching Gretzky play, I just remember going, man, this guy's so good. But you had a greater appreciation for him after he left the game. I just hope people watching McDavid now are having the level of appreciation for, who he is, what he is. He, to me, I'm not saying he's the best player ever because, Gretzky and Lemieux and Crosby, but he's the most skilled player I think we've ever seen. Certainly in my lifetime, he's just it's amazing what we're seeing. And yeah, and he should be in the MVP conversation. I know Celebrini and McKinnon are the two front runners, but Connor McDavid is he's in a league of his own.
Someone from outer space. It's unbelievable. Hey, our thanks to you and Bella.
There, get her on.
Thanks for having us.
There she is.
All right. That is David Amber, studio host, Hockey Night in Canada, NHL on Sportsnet. Always fun with DA.
I don't want to admit this to you, Kyper, because I hate telling you you're right, but I love the best on best stuff, and I'm so excited about the best on best stuff. But they're playing too much damn hockey.
I tell you, I love it.
There's too many damn hockey games. It's
So-
who's going to be like? I'm about to sound like Kyper. What's going to be left of them after this? But these next, you say 11 games in 20 days for the Leafs,
coming up.
and it's just having 9 games on a Monday. It feels like they're just ramming it in there to get it before the Olympics.
What was Commissioner Gary Bettman's quote recently about like the Olympics and the rink? And he said something.
It's cool and awesome.
No, he said something specific.
It's so great, and we're all so excited we're doing it.
I'll find it during the break, but
Give us the gist.
the
Jaw
gist
Jaw.
is like all of this will get revisited. Something of that nature.
Not happy with how it's
No,
going.
he didn't come across happy at all.
Did I hear something?
And whether or
Maybe
not the
I'm
rink-
crazy. Are they going to start the season sooner? Everyone in Canada is like, everyone goes back to school to start of September. Hockey starts for all our kids at the start of September. The leaves change in September. Could we start hockey in September?
And then
we
it'd
need to start mid-October?
And then it would be done a month. I don't know. I proposed this to Bourne, but it probably never happened. But could they, if you're going to have these World Cup years, you're going to have these Olympic years, although I don't think they'll ever go back to the Olympics. Something tells me after the way this has gone in Milan, they're going to be not rushing back there. Could you shrink the season by 10 games during an Olympic year? Or
They won't give the money back,
That's the thing. Could
Sammy.
I know,
would
but
they
it
get
just
compensated for that?
it's just so many
No.
games.
You know, there almost is a point though, Sam, where it's like they've invested in these players as assets, and maybe it would save them money by preserving their assets rather than driving their Rolls Royce into a pole. Let these players have some rest.
Yeah.
Maybe your asset will be more valuable in the end.
Honestly,
So there's something to it.
Okay, you want to take a quick break?
let's do game time first.
All right,
Um,
giddy up.
Let me find it here. Where's my sheet? It's game time. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Lots of good action on the ice tonight. Like I said, 9 games on tap. But the final game of the first weekend of the NFL playoffs is on tonight. Gave it a winning parlay over the weekend. My Bills-Bears parlay hit. So happy to everybody who actually bet it, but because I didn't, Dumbo. The Pittsburgh Steelers, pretty big, sizable underdogs at home tonight. Plus 135 on the money line. Houston Texans minus 160 on the road. That is one that I don't have a great feel for, but it's pretty good value with the home Steelers there. The Toronto Maple Leafs heading into Colorado tonight.
Let me guess the number.
A really tough place to play. What do you think the number is?
Plus 220.
It is plus 200. The Leafs are plus 200 heading into Colorado, minus 245 for the Colorado Avalanche on the other side of the money line. That is a
Can I get a goal with the Leafs? What's plus a goal and a half for the Leafs? there?
plus a goal and a half. I have minus
Minus
a goal and a half.
No, I don't want to do
plus
that.
goal and a half is minus 125.
Now we're talking. Minus
Yeah.
125. You had a goal and a half.
The Leafs are playing well. They look like an NHL hockey team again, so they're going in there. And the other game that I wanted to quickly bring up, Edmonton Oilers in Chicago to take on the Blackhawks. The Connors will be going up against each other. Give me a Connor Bedard goal tonight at plus 165. He'll want to show off in front of his fellow Connor. That was game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Okay, let's take a quick break, catch our breath. Plenty to get into as we go around the National Hockey League on NHL News and Notes, including a check from behind.
No.
I do believe we already had that
It's allowed.
conversation,
It's allowed.
but let's revisit
All right.
when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. As a reminder, this hour, Real Kyper and Bourne, brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. So I think Gary Bettman's quote was, he'll remember this.
Oh,
right?
That's so ominous.
and you know him,
wow.
boys.
Yeah.
He'll remember.
He
Yes.
seems like he lets go of grudges
We should
easily.
get him on again. It's always fun having him on.
Yep.
We should get him on again.
For sure.
Right? Anytime he's on,
It's
a good time.
clear. It's for him, anyways. It's forget about the economics on whether or not he could just do the whole thing himself, and they can just make more money.
Yep.
Right? They don't need the Olympics, but like, it's just not it's not worth the payoff.
Well, I mean, if the
What's
ice
not
were
worth- what's
Well,
that?
what they're going through, the hoops that they're jumping through,
but right now they're
is
jumping
not
through
worth
none.
it.
Like the hoops that the schedule is more compressed.
All of it. Yes, all included.
Yeah.
How many boxes do you want to check off of the schedule's too compressed? Guys getting hurt. They don't have answers to how families will get treated over there. Go on and on and on. The rink, is it safe? Will there be a big hole in it by day 3?
Well, you sent in our group chat over the weekend from Tardif. For me, the setup for the sport itself, I'm not worried. The hospitality suite, the area for the journalists, is not finished. But my job is ice hockey.
Yeah. Like I've said on the show, they're going to put on hockey matches and they're going to be great. For us at home watching TV, probably pretty great. Everything else.
The guys just can't have a shower after, but other than that, it's fine.
a guy sprays water on you out of his mouth.
Yeah.
That's
you
your-
got to shower at the hotel after the game, but other than that, it's fine.
You got those long nose water things there.
Yeah.
Stick your head under.
Oh,
Off
man.
you go. Anyway.
Okay. So,
Verhaeghe?
yeah.
Sammy's upset about this.
Cardi
I-
Verhaeghe.
I don't want to
Boys,
cry anymore.
So the
I
league- do
told
we
you,
have the- we
they
should've-
just they'll go a major for boarding. They'll do a lot of things. Even they'll call it checking from behind on a major, but you gotta. Nobody gets hurt, and if they think there's ample space between you and the boards, they don't call this thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, depends what you mean by they don't call it.
Well, they call
was,
it.
was that checking from behind? We all
course
saw
it was.
checking from behind, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean-
Kip, they call it boarding. Typically it's called boarding when you get that.
But it's
Listen,
worded
we
as checking
can't
from behind.
We can't have an argument about
No,
is
there's no
checking from
argument.
behind a penalty because it is.
yes.
So it's not like is
but
it or isn't it?
they just
It
don't.
is.
They just don't call it.
Okay, they don't call it as often or every time or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
There's certain ones you should call.
Well, I feel watching,
Everybody went crazy over this one, though,
watching this Verhaeghe
especially
one.
you guys.
Kip, you got no problem with a guy getting from
no.
behind, arm extended 3 feet from behind. We're gonna have
Yeah.
a guy paralyzed or dead,
Oh
and you're-
gosh, yeah,
and then the league's gonna
and
go.
then we'll suspend him,
and then, well,
and
yeah,
then we'll suspend him.
but that's the thing. This is why a lot of people and myself have been a little bit, I don't know, defensive about these ones.
I get
the
it.
potential outcome
I get
is
it.
so
I know.
bad
I get it.
that we should err on the side of suspending these guys.
But
So
that's not the league. It never has been the league.
it hasn't been. There was a long time.
So does
where
that make it okay?
It makes it they're okay. That's what it makes it.
there was a
and
while
they're
where we
in charge,
were cracking
Sammy.
down on this
Kippy
sort of-
League office.
You don't get a
Kippy
vote.
League
Hey,
off.
I got
League
news
office
for you.
Kippy.
There it is. Guy getting
You
buried from
don't
behind.
get a vote in this.
Me?
Well,
Of
I don't
course
know.
not.
If the fans have enough, if fans are upset
Oh.
enough about it, I feel like eventually they're going to have to. do
There's a
something.
simple solution to all of this. The players
Don't
turn
turn your
around.
back. Don't go
no,
get the
no,
puck
no,
when
no,
it's in
no,
the
no,
boards.
no. The players, they're the one that they go back to their association, and the association goes back to Gary or the league and say, we've had enough of this.
But so, I don't think the one on Scott Lawton was a suspension. There's not enough force. He's very aware of the contact. And this one, he is aware of the contact. But the guy extending his arms on another guy who is that distance and that vulnerable from the boards to me.
So what penalties should that be? Cross-checking? What did you want?
I want checking from behind. I
No,
want to
no.
suspend him.
Checking from behind, I told you, is not a penalty if there's no boards and the guy has the puck. They won't call it.
Well, then boarding, Kip. If you want the wording, the boarding's a penalty.
if he hits the boards.
Okay, and did he?
Face
Lawton?
first. Yes.
Right there, did Zub hit the
I'll
board?
give you 2 minutes for boarding there.
2 minutes. How do you? Okay. So
He's not hurt, Sammy. He's not hurt.
That time.
Mhm.
That
And
time
when he's
not.
hurt.
It's just, to me, this is one where it's like the potential negative outcomes are so severe. And I don't understand why we let so many other things go. And that one we're going to make okay. So I've watched a lot of these ones recently this year. You guys know I didn't like the Rantanen on Romanov one. I thought that he's playing recklessly and putting another guy in a dangerous spot. God, I'm getting annoyed how much you like that this is happening. You're like reveling in the fact that it's not getting called because it's a dangerous play and it has been. Yeah. Sam and I pulled my minor hockey jersey out today, which happened to be sitting behind my desk from the West Side Grizzlies. There's a literal stop sign sewn between the numbers, as there were for all players growing up.
I saw it. No board marks on it. No, it was like brand new jersey.
Yeah,
never.
But the point is, we grew up, you don't hit from behind. They literally sewed stop signs there. It was so illegal. So, yeah, I didn't like that one. I thought it was a suspension, and I think the league is going to get itself in trouble.
I want to proceed with caution sign.
A yield?
A yield. I don't want a stop sign. I want a yield.
Yellow light.
Here's what I'll say. If he's wearing any other jersey, it's a suspension. So
it's only a matter of time.
There you go. No,
only a matter of time.
Scott Lawton does that to whoever that is. That's a 2-gamer. No problem.
Yeah.
I'm not, I guess, Kyper, Mr. League Office isn't going to entertain it. I get it, but it's.
They've done an unbelievable job of cleaning up the game. You guys have nothing to complain about.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
They have done an unbelievable job cleaning up the game. There is way
sanitized
fewer.
Beyond belief. Sometimes too clean.
Guys, totally. Guys
too
used to
clean.
get the
boring.
Blind-sized headshots.
Boring.
Listen.
More blindside headshots, please.
There's
There's
a term that kids love called rage baiting.
Yeah.
He's getting me.
Yeah.
He's in my kitchen slamming my cupboards right now. He's got me.
Buddy.
He's got me. You're in my head, brother. You're Marchanding me right now.
Yeah, I am so Brad Marchanding you.
You got me. You got me. And I don't know how to proceed, really.
Yeah, I don't know.
Verhaeghe should have got a 5K. I don't know how you watch, at least leave it a major. How do you watch that happen and then go and be like, nah, let's take that down? Your initial reaction is a 2. Or if your initial reaction is a 5, leave it.
The two conversations I think people are having are that Florida gets breaks there, which I see all in my mentions.
Which is 100% accurate.
Which I don't believe.
Okay.
And then the other one is that does the league like just more competitive play, more reasons for teams to go at one another and have histories and all that? So, there is one other case to be made here that one thing you could do. Brian Burke for years has been an advocate for the bear hunt.
Love the bear
when
hunt.
a guy going into the boards with his numbers showing head down, where you're at least allowed to wrap him up a little bit, keep him from snapping his neck. I got time for that. Anyway, we should turn the page.
But there's just a but there, which the part I don't like is that you have to now, as a referee, quickly make a decision. Is that guy saving that guy, or is he just keeping him from going to the net?
Yeah, all penalties are subjective, though.
Right.
You got to make those calls.
Yeah, including checking from behind. All right.
Not a penalty.
What else you got for us?
It's so gaslighting. Not a penalty. I don't call it.
We got a Keefe clip. You want to play it?
Sheldon Keefe?
Oh, my God. I'm so infuriated.
Sammy, deep breath, buddy. Deep breath. Do you think the Columbus firing today puts a little bit more heat on some of the teams in their market?
I actually had that thought.
So
this team is saying we are running out of racetrack here.
Winnipeg, New Jersey.
Yes.
Who else would you put in that category of feeling the pressure of watching another team make a bold decision?
The biggest thing that we know is that it's results versus expectations. So who had high expectations going into the year and aren't doing well? You look at the bottom 5 teams in the East. It's, actually Florida's there, but New Jersey, Ottawa, and New York, Columbus.
I think Marie's probably safe.
Marie's probably okay. Not too worried about him. Yeah. On the other side, you got Calgary, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Vancouver. I don't know.
Yeah, Sullivan in New York, he's not going anywhere.
No.
Right?
No, he's not going anywhere. Travis Green's done a good job with Ottawa. I think.
I've seen, because of the whole Ullmark stuff and all that saga, my For You page on X was dominated by Sten stuff. It's amazing how quickly the algorithm takes over on there now.
Yeah.
But I would say that their fans are a little bit, looking for some accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, you think about the expectations heading into this season. They came off a great step last year, finally made the playoffs, finally got 90 points, finally lost to Leafs in the playoffs. Good for them. And it's a step forward. They're a core that's kind of on the way up. And I mean, this year has just been an unmitigated disaster on and off the ice. Can't get a save.
They signed Reimer. We didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
They signed James Reimer. He had a conditioning game in Belleville, gave up 6 on 28, and he's going to play
Good for $850.
Either tomorrow or Wednesday. You should expect to see Reimer play for the Ottawa Senators.
I do think that there probably are some conversations there. No, I don't know. I mean, how long has Travis Green been there now?
This is year.
Yeah. That one would really surprise me.
Where on the you tweeted out that the tenured coaches thing there, Borny.
Wasn't that
this
crazy?
is a playoff team with goaltending.
Oh, for sure it is. So I have my little quadrant on
Travis
Sport
Green
Logic.
can't go in there and put pads on.
No, they are, in terms of expected goals for and against, they're one of like the 6 best teams in the league. They're right there with, the good teams. There's Colorado is separate from that, but they're in that pack with Tampa and Carolina and Detroit and some of those teams. So yeah, no, I don't put that on the coach. You need some saves.
It's crazy though. You look at that list that you tweeted out there of the tenured coaches, and Berube is in the top half of the league. Is he? Like he's right near the middle.
Among the longer tenured guys.
It's crazy.
Cooper and Bednar and Rod Brindamore have been around for quite a while. The 4th longest tenured coach is Andre Tourigny in Utah, and the 5th is Marty St. Louis. Like it feels like both those guys just got hired. Turnovers very quick.
Ovi notches 20 goals for the 21st time in a season.
Best to ever do it.
They lost to the Preds.
Preds
Are the
Preds
Capitals?
coming.
Are the Capitals lost a playoff spot last night? Didn't they?
If you
Are
do
they
the
still in
wild
it?
card sorting, they
They're still barely in it.
By points percentage,
They're out.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, and the Caps are out.
Mm-hmm.
Caps have slipped below
Yeah.
Toronto and Pittsburgh.
Where do you have the Washington Capitals, in or out, when this is all said and done?
I think they're good.
I'm surprised.
I think they're in. I think they get in at the end of the day. But boy, Detroit and Montreal, 2 teams I think a lot of us thought would start to peter out a little bit. 7-2-1 and 6-2-2 in their last 10 games, respectively. They're buzzing.
Oh, did you guys see the brawl?
The kid brawl?
The kid brawl.
Yes. I'm
calling setup. I'm calling fixed.
Some people said AI. We're
got
actually
it.
going to it.
Yeah.
So this is an intermission of a Hershey game. I saw Ken Campbell in the Hockey News wrote a piece about how we should not celebrate this and how this is the only part I don't like. There's like skates around, but they're goofing on each other. They're fighting each other.
Not one adult.
But this is my takeaway. Where is someone?
I'm sorry, but there has to be a dad or somebody going out there and saying, knock it off.
There's not one dad on skates going, hey, it's embarrassing.
Nothing.
There's a ref. This kid's got his gloves off. That's dangerous.
I think these kids got set up. I think they.
What do you mean?
I think
someone got to the game.
No, somebody told them to go out there and have fun and do this.
Yeah.
No way.
Where is everybody, Sam? Explain to me, where is everybody?
We actually need answers.
Parents are watching this and they're going,
I actually don't think I would be if my kid was in that. I'd be like, okay. That's dangerous.
I'm walking on the ice and I'm grabbing my kid
and his coach.
and I'm going, get off now.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of hockey games and a lot of minor hockey games where it's the thing they do it in the intermission. They play it.
Yeah.
There's always 4 to 5 adults around.
Yeah.
They're sitting on the bench. They have to be sitting on the bench.
Sometimes they're getting the puck back into play. They're always out there. And that's the first one I've ever seen. Maybe mix in an official, but
There's a lot of people should be in a lot of trouble.
Polarizing.
It's not the kids.
Polarizing event. People loved and hated
right?
I felt both those emotions.
That is a wonderful example of don't believe anything you see on the internet anymore.
I don't know what to think.
Our thanks to David Amber. 9 games on tap. Find yours, and we're back tomorrow to do it all over again. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Have a great night, everybody.